TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Wednesday morning in Lagos. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. It's the first day of the year. Well, the year is on its race again. Recall that the year began with what some consider a bold decision by the federal government to suspend evaluation and accreditation of degree certificates from republics of Benin and Togo, pending the outcome of an investigation into what is now known as degree mills, following an investigative report by Umaru Audu, a journalist with the Daily Nigerian newspaper, on how he bagged a Cotonou University degree in just 6 weeks without stepping foot in Benin, and he got deployed for NYSC as foreign student. We also got report that the federal government has now banned 18 foreign universities operating in Nigeria, describing them as degree mills, warning Nigerians to avoid enrolling in such institutions. The directive affected 5 universities from the United States, 6 from the United Kingdom, and 3 Ghanaian tertiary institutions. And in a swift reaction to that, we're hearing from students in Benin and Togo, particularly the National Union of Nigerian Students has asked the federal government to reassess the suspension placed on the accreditation as well as evaluation of degree certificates from neighboring Benin Republic and Togo. Suggesting that the federal government should instead, reverse the suspension while maintaining a rigorous and transparent evaluation process. I'm joined by Comrade Akinteye Babatunde Afiz, who is president of the Senate Nigerian Association of Nigerian Students headquarters in Abuja. Senate President, thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, and Happy New Year to you. A very interesting discovery we made this year, particularly with the masterpiece report done by a colleague of ours. Did that come to you as a shock? Because NANS provides some sort of an umbrella association for Nigerian students. Is it something the association has had before, or it's pretty new to you guys?
Sincerely, it's not new, to be sincere. Before now, we have been receiving some informations like that some people are getting certificates that are not legitimate from Benin Republic. But before now, I was the Vice President of External Affairs before I became the Senate President. So there was one time last year that I was discussing with the President of Benin, and I raised something like this with him. And it was like, they are doing investigation, that if there's any school they find out that is involved in that, they are going to get back to us so that we can also write officially to the ministry. You know, when some things are at the level of ESA, you can't just take official process on them. So it doesn't come like a shock, and we must give kudos to that journalist for going there to expose this process that is going on in Benin Republic. So it wasn't really a shock to us.
Because interestingly, Umaru Audu mentioned that this is not even a new report, that a similar report like this was done in 2018. And, we've also heard from NYSC and some government agency as far back as 2020. So apparently, it seems that we are hearing this is happening, but nothing concrete was done.
Yes.
So let's talk about this ban, because NANS seems to have an issue with what federal government calls a temporary ban. I mean, what would think it's temporary? It's just for the period of time of the investigation.
Thank you very much. You see, National Association of Nigerian Students, we happen to be the #1 student body in the country, both home and diaspora. And when issues like this happen, our own first interest is the interest of our students. Whether we like it or not, there are students on that in Togo and Benin Republic that are pursuing their course on those in Benin.
Are those students also members of NANS?
Yes, every student, either in Benin, in USA, in Canada, anywhere.
So the association is also active outside the country?
Yes, they are active. We have structures down there. We have the NANS diaspora president. Okay. Even last year, we were together at the House of Reps to defend some issues that happen in UK. So we have students in those countries that are there studying legitimately. So when this ban came, we are stakeholders in education, in this educational system. We expect if the minister wants to take such a decision, or the Ministry of Education should carry us along. If we have been carried along and we have raised observations to him that this is this, this is that, this is this, let us do it this way, possibly we won't be having the public outburst like that. But what we are saying is that the ban is fine. The minister, and let me say their reaction is fine for them to reaction promptly like that. And that shows that, yes, the minister is up to the task, and his intentions and intent are clear, we understand. But in Benin Republic, we have over 50,000 Nigerian students.
In Benin alone?
In Benin alone. I got these figures from the president, NANS President Benin, directly from the embassy. And if we have over 50,000 Nigerian students in Benin Republic, and we have this issue of people buying results in Benin Republic, and we have students that are registered over 50,000 there, over 50,000 of them, I think we should be careful. Because any decision we are making is also going to affect those students.
Why do you think our people are going to school in Benin? Because, the reporter mentioned that even Benin citizens don't really fancy the universities like that because of the quality of education that is available there.
You see, irritability is one of the characteristics of human being. And human being, whether we like it or not, we tend to move from one region to the other. Where is conducive for me might not be conducive for you. And where is conducive for you might not be conducive for me. There are even many reasons that is enough to frustrate someone to want to leave Nigeria to study elsewhere. And part of them is ASU strike. Okay, just imagine the last ASU strike. The president of NAS Benin, as we speak, left Futmina during the last ASU strike and transferred to Benin Republic to study. So issues like that are some of the reasons why you see students leaving this place to go to Benin Republic, you understand, to have fast educational process. So I think those are some of the reasons, and many other things. Student refereeism, some students in Benin Republic now, we see them telling you they have good electricity supply. Some of them tell you they have good hostel facilities. So things like that, little refereeism of the Nigerian students, those are one of some of the reasons why students are living here to go to Benin.
What exactly are the concerns of Nigerian students in this country, in these countries, as regards the suspension of accreditation, happening here in Nigeria?
You see, this process, this suspension of accreditation is fine. You understand? But our own concern is the innocent students. We believe investigation can be done without outrightly banning them. Then after your investigation and you get those schools that are doing this, you get those that are involved, you punish them. It's just as if we're burning the whole forest to kill a rat. If the investigation that was done to expose this was done discreetly by the journalist. Nothing stop our ministry and also security agencies to do their investigation discreetly. Even if there was discreet investigation, we'll get more results. Many people will be exposed. Now that everything is open, that they want to investigate, you see people trying to cover that track now. So we want them to investigate. We want them to do justice. We want the educational system to be sane. But we also want them to consider the effects that it will also have. We have students that are in their third year in Benin. We have some preparing to go for their NYSC who have been studying there. So we just want them to also consider that aspect, that these people, because we want to punish, because, now, if they are telling us that this ban is going to stand for 1 month, 2 months, it will be time, they will know, there's a time frame. This ban can end next week because it is indefinite ban. It can take a year. It can take 6 months. Nobody knows exactly when this ban is going to end. So if it is going to take 2 years, it means those students that are legitimate have to wait another 2 years to get their certificate. And if after 2 years, the federal government is coming and is saying those schools you people have attended, they are not qualified, we can't accredit them again, so the time is wasted.
Do you see NANS having a critical role to play here, particularly in helping to identify the fraud in the system? I know you hold elections, you have executive members. Do you even scrutinize whether your president has, a certificate, or whether the certificate it claims to have or the school is attended is genuine.
And you see, before you contest at the level of NANS, there are some investigation that will be done on you. As a student, you must be a student before you contest. And some of those investigations are even done with the State Department, the State Security Department. So to contest now as him, as the president in Benin, he will have provided his studentship, evidence of studentship, letter from his dean or the registrar of that school. So that satisfies him as a student. So if that has not been done, then he cannot come and make claim to being the student or the president. He won't even be qualified to contest.
So NANS executive have to be students?
Yes.
Not graduates?
Not graduates.
So you are still a student?
Yes.
Interesting, because you even still look young. When I see some NANS executive and they look pretty old, I'm wondering, is it Old Student Association?
No, in the NANS constitution, if you are running your PhD,
okay, you're still a student. Okay,
you're still a student. So even if you are 100 years old and you think, okay, you have passion for this organization and you want to run it and you can make the constitutional qualifications, you can come back, contest. If you win election, you lead us. Just know that you are here to represent.
Okay, it's not limited to undergraduates.
To age or undergraduates.
Okay.
Just that if you are in your first year, you cannot contest.
Okay.
Because we still see you as freshers, and if you're also in your last year, if you are graduating the final year, students cannot contest also.
So quite a number of agencies and ministries of government have been fingered in this investigation. Top on the list is the Federal Ministry of Education, because it is from there that the name was sent to NYSC that this guy actually graduated from a university degree that took only 6 weeks, and he did not even leave Nigeria. And then I saw some of his interviews. One of the issues they had with NYSC was that his passport was only stamped twice. How do you do a 3 or 4 year course and then you only went to the country and returned once? And you begin to consider the kind of rot that may have existed or that still exists in our system. What are your concerns about this? And what does it say? What does it speak to the quality of graduates we're churning out every year?
It doesn't speak well now, because either we like it or not, the fact is that those students that went there to get those certificates illegitimately, they are still coming, but they are Nigerians. And you will see some of them presenting those certificates to get jobs in this country.
Indeed.
And luckily for some of them, they will get the job, because the companies cannot verify if they are the right certificate or if they are legit or not. Gotten a certificate, the man even said he scanned that barcode and he brought the name of the school, which means it is legit. So it is a great concern to us. It is really a great concern to us. We are not happy with it. It doesn't speak well of the country on its own. It doesn't speak well, which means our educational system, we need those that are supposed to monitor, to validate, and to make sure things are done rightly, which means there are problems. You see, even this investigation, people are supposed to pay. Those that are supposed to do their job rightly and they did not do it, they are supposed to pay. The minister should not just go to this investigation, he should expand it even to the Ministry of Education. Because those schools were accredited by some persons. And after accreditation, they have been monitored. So are we saying you just accredit a school and your students from your country will go to those schools and study, and you don't have process to checkmate, you don't have process to go and investigate what is going on that campus to your students? So that is what this is saying, and that is what this is telling us.
So concerning this ban, precisely, what is NANS asking government to do?
What we are asking government to do is that any investigation, anything they want to do, they should consider the innocent student too. Because either we like it or not, they are already affected. I have parents that have spoken to me. We have students that have spoken to us. They are traumatized. Because we have students that have spent a lot of money. Some are in their 3rd year. So no matter the emotions, no matter how serious this issue is, we must consider those students too. And this process, if it is dragging for too long, it is going to affect them.
So you are asking that this ban should be time specific, or you're asking that it be lifted?
If the ban cannot be lifted, let them tell us how long it's going to be.
Let me read this position to you and let me find out, because NANS itself is divided. We understand there are factions and all of that. In a statement signed by a factional National Senate president. His name is Elvis Ekundina. Do you know him? Interesting.
Yes.
So NANS commended the federal government over the suspension of the evaluation and accreditation of degree certificates obtained from institutions in Benin and Togo. However, the students' body called on government to extend its sanction to tertiary institutions operating in Nigeria who are offering courses without accreditation from relevant authorities. Do you agree with him?
If there are schools in this country that are running courses and they are not being accredited, then they should also be sanctioned. It's the fact. For instance, something happened in Ondo State. There was this school that students are being registered. They are doing their courses, and they promised them after they finish their course, they will take them to NYSC. And in reality, that school is just a sandwich program in Nakuba. He's running a sandwich program with Adikun Lajasin. And this man knew that these students are not going to get NYSC certificates. And he's admitting students, he's running course year in, year out, until the students started asking questions about, he has graduated about 3 sets of students. The school is in a road.
Hold that thought. George has called in from Ikeja. Good morning, Mr. George.
Yeah, good morning, Nifemi, and good morning to your guests. Nifemi, the government has to be careful about taking panic measures on this subject. I personally do not want to believe that every student in Togo, Cotonou, and the rest spends only 6 weeks to get a degree. It cannot be like that. And it is not possible that the investigation that was done would have just been a syndicate. And that syndicate should be treated in isolation from the system. Some of the measures we are taking now could backfire. If you are saying certificates from some universities in the US and the UK are already banned even before investigation. Supposing those countries turn back and say any Nigerian, any student that studied in Nigeria that came here with a certificate cannot work, or those who are already working should go back. You can't just generalize like that. So if in Nigeria, for example, we have lecturers who have done sex for marks offenses. Some of them are now in jail. Would you now say that because some incidents like that happened in University of Lagos, so any certificate that is obtained from University of Lagos is fake or is banned? You can't do like that. In fact, the Ministry of Education should even be indicted on this matter. They have a list of universities from these countries that they recognize. Did they not conduct investigation before the recognition? If it turns out that a school that you have already recognized an incident like this occurred there, it is left for you to investigate it. You can't just generalize it. This thing can be counterproductive, and you have to be very careful about it.
All
That's
right.
my view.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. George. So that school you were talking about that, kept graduating people without accreditation. What's being done? Because it seems that NANS is aware what has been done.
When we came in, the school was shut down. And now investigation is going on because the man, the proprietor of the school, claimed he's going to make sure these students go for NYSC. And after them graduating, they cannot mobilize them for NYSC because it was a sandwich program. So we involved the police, the commissioner of police on those states on the issue, and the investigation was going on. Even about 2 weeks ago, we had maybe a building there was burnt down, and they are saying maybe they are students, but it's not students. So investigation is going on that issue. And many of those schools like that, there are still many schools like that exist in this country. So the Ministry of Education needs to stand up and wake up to their duties to fix out these schools. You just see somebody, we have money, we open a center and we say university in affiliation to one of these big schools. And those schools, because they are looking for money, we give them the right and okay, come in. And when they start doing their business.
But there are schools that are duly registered, that have courses that are accredited.
Yes.
But they have a few courses that are not yet accredited.
Yes.
What do you think students can do in that regard?
You see, there are, if schools, courses that are not being accredited in your school, they are online. If you are studying in any school now, and you have, if for instance, you are studying biochemistry in Olusegun Agagu University, you have to go online, check, is this course have you been accredited for this school? It is on NUC site. Every school, every institution have courses that have been accredited for them. So some schools have intake in hoping that before they graduate, they will have getting their accreditation. There are some schools that do that. But if you want to be at the safer side, go to schools that your course have been accredited in the country.
So what you're saying now is that there are students in Togo and Benin who are not involved in degree mails.
Yes, obviously.
We've also gotten a reaction from the school in question, ESGT, debunking the allegation, even though the investigative journalist in this regard isn't buying it because they definitely may have been complicit in all of this. But let's begin to look at, the other angles of this story, particularly when you consider the desperation of students in getting to school, and, the desperation in, for instance, there are students who have been rusticated, who probably failed through the system and who are desperate to get this degree by all means. Do you think this might also have fueled this market to have become so pronounced over the years and also enjoy some level of validation even within the ministry?
Definitely. Yes, it's possible because either we like it or not. You said earlier, you said this report, there was a report like this in 2018, which means in reality, this business has been going on since 2018. And the moment someone can go to Benin in 6 weeks and get certificate, if you should come back and tell your fellow friends, I get my certificate in 6 weeks. Even there was a time I was in a group one day, there was one of our students then that were in 300 level together, and before we know it, next year he's already serving. Not from the school we attended together, but some of us we did not bother ourselves about them. We don't worry. If by God's grace we will meet in the political realm in future, we will open your history for you, and you will tell us everything about yourself. So this business, we cannot tell you it is not going on. We cannot say we are not aware. We cannot say we've not had things like that. And it's a fast-growing business. That is why I said the Ministry of Education should open their committee to involve more stakeholders, especially from the students' angle, to make sure that this investigation is not just done alone by them. Good, they have involved the DSS. So that if there is anybody in the ministry that is included in this thing, you can also fish them out. Because it's not something that the school will just be doing alone like that on Benin Republic, and everything is easy. You go to NYSC, you serve, and things like that. There are always, all these people from Benin, when you meet them at NYSC camp, they are always foreign students. You have foreign students come with special treatment to them. So investigation is not bad. No sensible comrade or sensible student will say the federal government has done anything wrong to investigate. But what we are saying is that the innocent ones should be. Okay, I've studied about 50,000 in Benin now. Togo has a lot of students too. And they are Nigerians. They went there to study. We can't blame them. They spend their money, they spend their time. So if this investigation is taking 2 years, 3 years, are they going to wait? So there should be a time frame. They should tell us what they want to do. And that is the angle we are coming from.
Alex has called in from Oshogbo. Good morning, Alex. Oh, I think we lost that call. We're going to take a short break now. When we return, we'll open the phone lines and also get more contribution on this matter. By the way, NANS held a convention November last year that made the news with gunshots and killings and maimings. Well, I have a NANS comrade in the house. We should be talking about it as well right after this break. Stay with us.